You are listening to Best in Seattle Real Estate with host Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420. This podcast is for real estate agents. Tina interviews the best of the best agents in the greater Seattle market. Learn strategies and the mindset needed to be your best. If you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level, this show is for you.
Welcome to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. My lineup is exclusive and reserved for the best of the best in the greater Seattle real estate market based on closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you're a real estate agent looking to level up your game, you are in the right place. My guest today is here to share what she has learned over the years that has taken her to the top in the real estate field. Now in studio, Sandi Tampa of Sandi Tampa Real Estate Windermere. Sandi has closed 33 transactions in the last 12 months. Yes, I did say that, 33 in the last 12 months. That earns her the title of industry leader, and she is here today to share her secrets to success, data provided and verified by MMI, Mobility Mobile Market Intelligence. Sandi, how are you?
Hi, Tina. I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm so excited to have you back. And as you know, exclusive, reserved for the best of the best. There's only 1% of the 1 percentile, right? So I just love that you're able to come back and spend time with me again.
Well, thank you. It's an honor. So thank you.
Absolutely. So I would also like to give a shout out and a big thanks to my producer and Hubbard over at Hubbard Radio, Benny.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, Benny. Just appreciate everything that you do. And he is the best producer that I've ever had. And I've actually had a lot of them because I had a radio show for 12 years. So I've had a few different producers. And Benny, you are the best by far.
Oh, well, thank you very much. How is the spring going in the backyard?
Oh, well, I'd have to ask my husband that, but what I'm excited about is he needs to get the, what do you call it? Pressure wash. He needs to get the pressure done so he can put the furniture out.
Very big a part of the season. Yes, everyone's got to get rid of that moss and the algae off of things and make it all clean again.
I guess so. Thanks for asking, Benny. Thanks
problem.
again for everything that you do.
Sure.
So there is a lot of things behind the scene and absolutely could not do things without Benny. So really appreciate him. All right. So before we get started, I want to share a little bit about Sandi. Sandi is a skilled veteran with 18 years of residential real estate experience. She is based out of Bellevue and primarily focuses on the Eastside. Sandi is highly accredited managing broker. Sandi specializes in applying her local expertise and market knowledge to her business. Experience negotiating and cutting-edge marketing strategies combined with a uncompromising integrity are the trademark of Sandi's service. Sandi has worked within every facet of the industry, representing sellers, buyers, and investors. Thanks to her loyal clientele, personal referrals, and repeat business, Sandi has a solid foundation that fuels her business into continued success. And her numbers show it, and that's why she's here today. So Sandi, I would love to ask you a question. What is your biggest challenge, and how have what's your biggest challenge you've had in your business, and how have you overcome that challenge?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the business is is just a perpetual state of challenges, but which is why I love it, because it's always different. And if it was easy, one of my mantras, if it was easy, anybody could do it. But thinking back to my biggest challenge, I'm actually going to take us back, and you can go with me because you were there, back to the 2007 to 2010, when kind of the mortgage crisis, when that was all unraveling. And it's because we're facing a lot of, and I don't really want to get into it, but there's a lot of challenges in today's market, and even just with low inventory and all that. But back in that whole 2008, 2009, the number of transactions were even lower at some points, but you had a ton of listings. So it was a really, really, really difficult time in the industry. And so I think by far, that was the hardest thing I've had to do in my business. And the way out of that is it's just the same thing that you'll probably hear me say broken all the time, is just focus, hard work, tenacity, and then just getting after it.
Yeah, and that's so great. And mindset, right, Sandy? Because you
Mindset.
you can't be doing what you're doing if you don't have a mindset that you can make it through anything. And I love how you brought in the financial meltdown and the Great Recession of 2008, because it is similar now. It is completely different, because in our personal life, we've got equity in our homes, and we probably learned from that if we'd been through that before. We came out of, a couple unbelievable years, but it is really challenging. And so knowing that in a challenging market is your opportunity market, you don't have the opportunities that you have in a challenging market when you're in a great market. So learn what those opportunities are, of what you can pull out of that, because everybody has challenges, even the 1 percentile. Sandy just told you she's had many challenges in her career, but those challenges are what takes us to the next level. And if you're having challenges, everybody else is having challenges, including your competitors. So if you have the mindset to get out of those challenges and the strategies and what Sandy's talking about, that is your opportunity, because majority of people are not able to dig out of that, and they're not going to benefit, right, Sandy?
Well, exactly. And mindset, I think of mindset. So I work on mindset daily. It is like brushing your teeth. You can't just do it once and you're done. It's like building your bicep muscle. It's not like you don't just build it and then you're like, oh, sweet. You've got to keep working at it. And it's the dialogue in your head, what is. And one of my favorite quotes is, none of it's real, so why not make it great, right? So what we perceive, so much of it is not really fact-based. And so just flipping the script and making it great and having the confidence and belief in yourself.
Absolutely. And I can't remember what the stats are, 95%, something like that, outrageous. Maybe let's just say 80 and be conservative, of our thoughts are negative. And even scary of that, majority of them are repetitive. It's the same negative thoughts we have over and over and over and over again. So that's great news that it's competitive, because repetitive, because then you can just come up with a positive trigger to offset that. So every time you have that negative thing that comes in, like, oh my gosh, where my next deal going to come from? You can click to that positive trigger and go, well, hey, I got through the financial meltdown. I'm going to get through this, or whatever that case may be for you. And just like Sandy said, it's exercising that muscle and creating new thoughts that you can create opportunities for you to never get stuck in that space. And also in that mindset is having a refresher in the middle of the day. Get out and do something that really pumps you up and gets you excited to conquer your day. It's not about getting rid of the stress. It's about putting yourself in a space so that you don't ever have that stress take over you. Right, Sandy?
Totally. And I know the whole, I'm good enough, I'm worth enough, all of that. It's a really unpopular, like, people make fun of it, but it is so powerful. But if that's all you do, it's not going to work. You still have to work hard, get there, focus, and do more than you really want to do. So there's so many, what I'm pushing myself really hard right now is, I can finish my work up like at 4:00, but then I stay here and I continue and push myself to make those calls, connect with my database. And because, it's a contact sport, and it's great because I love it. So and flipping that script too, that prospecting is something I enjoy, and it's connecting with people, and it's being genuine, and it's caring about them, and knowing that they appreciate being checked on and asked about.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just joined Orange Theory, and it's like the reps. You just push, just do a little, just one more. Okay, it's our last 30 seconds. Give it your all out. And that's what Sandy's saying. When it's time to wrap up, it's not time to wrap up. She's going to push a little bit more. And yeah, affirmations, if you don't like the word affirmations, call them confirmations or something like that. But it is a massive, important part of your day. And you do have to extend it to other things, just as Sandy said. And how you do that is you believe what you say. The difficulty with affirmations, or the dangers with affirmations, well, if you don't say them, that's dangerous, because all you have is your negative thoughts. And we already talked about what that looks like. So you have to offset them with positive. In those affirmations or confirmations, you just have to believe what you say. You can't say I have $1 million if you don't believe that you can pay your bills. But you can say, it's possible for me. It's possible for me not to stray. It's possible for me to be able to pay my bills. And then possible works up to I can works into I am works into that is just the way it is. So you have to build and maintain a level of integrity with yourself and the words that you're saying, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
What a great conversation. I have so many questions for you today, but that took up a lot of time, but I'm really glad that we did that because it is such an important part of the process in being able to get through a challenging time. And the challenging times are going to continue to come without a doubt. But once you learn that your challenging times is where your business is going to thrive, that's where it gets excited and where you look forward to these opportunities. So Sandi, what is the single most important reason that you see success in your business?
So I think we're going to be a broken record here with this.
I love it.
Yeah. So I think it's mindset is absolutely huge. And two, for me, I have to also come from anytime I start acting out of scarcity, I don't perform as well. So I have to set myself up for an abundance mindset. So I do that with I carry a little bit more money in my bank account than I should, than is probably responsible, just so I have that buffer. And then I also, just with my leads and keeping track of my database and just seeing all the opportunity I have there. And then it's just hard work. And I am actually not in my office, but if I was in my office, I have a dry erase board that tracks the number of calls, the number of face-to-faces, the number of notes, the number of leads, who I've got in escrow, what listings I have coming up. So it's just that focus and then just doing the work.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned scarcity, because if you have scarcity, you can't do the hard work because you're overwhelmed with that negativity. So you've got to start from that base and figure out, what do I need to do to remove the scarcity? Is it having more money? Is it having more ideas? Whatever that case may be. And then you can move forward and do the hard work. And remember that your brain does not understand the words that you say to it, only understands the feeling that you have behind those words. And so that's why when you say, I'm not going to be late, I'm not going to be late, you're probably going to be late.
Yeah.
Because the brain doesn't understand that you're wanting to not be late. It understands that you're saying, I'm not going to be late, and you are stressed out about the possibility. So remember that it's about the feeling. What do you need to do to remove that feeling of scarcity so that you can really do the hard work to get things take the action to get things to come together, right?
Yeah, and stealing one of the affirmations, I guess, it's kind of it's not a toxic word, but people, it's just, there's some negativity behind it, but golden opportunities are everywhere. And I believe that. And then there's a book called Acres of Diamonds. It's back from like the 50s, but it's just everything I need is right here in front of me. I have a database of people who I've transacted with, who know me, love me, trust me. And that, like, just the focus that golden opportunities are everywhere. And I know I have what I need right here. I just have to lean in and be consistent and provide care, and it will come.
That is beautiful. And if anybody listening to the show right now wants some ideas on affirmations, you can reach out to Sandi. You can also reach out to me, and I will send you my affirmation video that I had made years ago with the Rocky theme song, that I just rock that Rocky theme song, and I'm screaming out those words. And I, just like Sandi said, you believe them, and it gives you that energy and that confidence and that superhero power that, I got this, right?
Exactly.
So if you're an agent and you're listening and you're like, what affirmations? I have a whole training on affirmations that I'll send you that training video. So reach out, because Sandi said it. This is it. You have to do this. And if you say affirmations do not work for me and you don't do them, you are in trouble. You have to figure out a way to have confident conversations with yourself so you can offset the negative ones that are there, and they will always be there. The key is you have to find a way that works for you and maintain that level of integrity that you believe your words. Great shout out, Sandi. And again, I'm so happy that we spent a lot of time on this. All right, coming up next on Best in Seattle podcast, continued conversation with Sandi Tampa, Sandi Tampa Real Estate, Windermere.
So how do you choose your mortgage professional partner when referring your buyers? Tina Mitchell, 145-420, is passionate about her career in the mortgage industry because of the challenges her family faced keeping a roof over their heads. She played her violin with her little sister at Pike Place Market as street performers to help their parents pay the bills. This was a traumatic experience for her, but drove her to work hard and realize the success she has today. Tina purchased her first home when she was 20, and this gave her a sense of pride and security that her parents did not have. Helping others reach their dreams of home ownership is rewarding to Tina. Tina has been in the mortgage industry for over 25 years and has been recognized in the top 1% nationwide. For more information on how Tina is helping her buyers stand out next to their competition, go to TinaMitchellTeam.com. That's TinaMitchellTeam.com.
I'm going to do a terrific show today because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Oh my gosh, that's why I said Benny is the best. He just put that in there because we were talking about the power of affirmation. Benny, you were awesome.
Well, if people remember that character, it was Stuart Smalley, and
Stuart
he was
Smalley.
and he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you were amazing. And just as I was taking this into commercial, I said Sandi Tampa, her name wrong. We're talking about affirmations, and I know Sandi for years, so that was pretty hilarious. Oh my gosh, what a great conversation we're having here. Welcome back to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. Continued conversation with Sandi Tampa of Sandi Tampa Real Estate Windermere. Are you a real estate agent looking for that one thing to take your business to new heights? Sandi is here to motivate you to be your best. You will learn what she is doing, how you can implement her best practices into your real estate business. Today, Sandi is here sharing her strategies and mindset needed to be the best in the industry. Sandi is here to inspire other real estate agents to level their business up. Sandi, thank you again for being here today. And our conversation is right in line with the vision of the show and why you're here. And it actually is bringing me to a tear. That's how emotional this conversation is, because it's so important. And there's so many people, real estate agents, especially, that are struggling right now. And I hope that they're listening to this show, and our conversation is bringing some spark and some excitement to them, and the power of words, right?
Huge. Yeah.
Love it. All right, Sandi, what is one popular piece of advice that you disagree with and why? Or what is one popular piece of advice that you have implemented and it has helped you in your business?
So the very first thing that pops to mind, and this is going to be a little, it's not counterculture, that's a little dramatic, but there is, so this is a tactic with real estate of actually meeting appraisers at the house. So that is something that agents get up on their soapbox to shout, I must do this. And I don't do that. But what I do,
you closed 33 transactions in 12 months.
Yeah. But what I do is I meet people, and you got to meet people where they're at. And I think the last thing an appraiser wants is for every single real estate agent to be meeting them. So what I do is, for lack of a better word, is I suck up to them. I find out what they want from me. And if me meeting them at the home is helpful for them, absolutely. And there's occasionally times where I'll meet them at the house, and that's like a case, there's usually a very specific reason why, but I know what the appraiser needs. And so I'll send them dates of, like, the roof was here, the kitchen was remodeled here, so everything I can do to make their job easy. I will, if there's a comp that might look good on the MLS, but I've been in, and let's say it smelled like cat pee or something, I'll let them know that, or that there was actually popcorn ceilings in here and you can't see that so I'll help give them information to make their job easier. And then, really just try to be a partner with them and help them as they need. And I find that if there does start to be a problem with the appraisal, that they are looping me in and I'm not blindsided. And it's been I feel like I've had a lot of success with that.
Yeah. And remember that the appraiser has an opinion of value. An opinion has a range, and determining that possible range in your favor is how you treat the appraiser, right? And so think about how you would want And typically that is how someone else is going to want. And we also learn in training and dialogue and communication and building rapport is to ask questions to find out what their individual need is, because not everybody, it's not a templated way people want to interact. So I love that, getting the data. And if you're listening to the show right now and you want a form on it coming from an appraiser on exactly what they're looking for, or you want to see what Sandi's using, reach out, because we have that. Prepare all of the data that they need, because you've already done this for your buyer. I hope you have, right? Because you need to come up with this data anyway. So prepare all that, then reach out to the appraiser and say, hey, this is Sandi. I'm representing the buyer. Just wanted to see if you want me at the house, I'd love to meet you there. If not, I don't want to bother you, but I do have this report and data to make your job easier. I'll just drop it over to you and let me know if there's any questions, how I can best support you. Right, Sandi?
100%. And I will email them. Sometimes I'll tape a packet to the front door just to make sure they'll see it.
I love that.
I do it, interestingly, I do it a lot too with my listings. So it's even when my buyer, so if I'm representing the seller and the buyer's waiving financing and everything, we're still a team effort of trying to get the most we can and set everybody up for success. So the appraisal isn't a hindrance for anybody.
Yeah, and that's a great shout out, because unfortunately there's a reason there's a 1 percentile, and then there's a reason that the 80-20 is switched to a 90-10 rule, which means that 10% are doing 90% of the business. 90% are doing 10% of the business. So those other real estate agents, there's 90% of them that don't do any business, which means that they probably are not doing a great job. There's a reason, right? And so you have to act at your best and cover for what might not be taken care of. So yes, as a listing agent, making sure you're setting everybody up for success. Great advice there, Sandi. My last question as we get things wrapped up in our last 5 minutes here, how do you deal with self-doubt in your business? And actually, I'm going to step over that because we've already talked about that. Let me move to my last question. What natural gift do you have that helps you in your business, Sandi?
Well, I mean, without trying to sound arrogant, because a natural gift, because I think we have to work at everything. But I think something that I do well, the whole disc profile and all of that, like knowing whether you're talking to a party person and all this. And I've tried to learn all that. And, but I think I have a natural ability to kind of figure out who I'm talking to and what they need to hear from me, and how, if I need to speed up, if I need to slow down, if I need to show them more data or less data, or just back off or lean in more. So I think I've got this, because I don't categorize it and I don't put it, but I'm very deliberate in figuring out how people need to be communicated with.
And I love how you say that a gift, in order for that gift to come out and be able to shine, you have to work on it. It's acknowledging and understanding, wow, this is easier for me than some people. I bet you have some SC on your disc. Would that be accurate, Sandi?
I'm actually high D, high I.
Okay, so am I. My highest is I, and I'm followed by D. But in listening to what your gift was, it made me think maybe you're an outlier, and you've got some of that, because most people in our role, they are I, D, high I, one more than the other, and a little. Very little on the CS, but so, okay, I was wrong. It's not my gift. I'm not as good as you are at being able to pick it up.
I don't know.
That's wonderful.
I don't know what it all means.
Yeah, so it was awesome. So wonderful. Well, Sandi, thank you again so much for being on the show today. And I enjoyed our conversation and feel that we leveled it up, and, just bringing something different than what I've had in the podcast before, and really talking about the power of our words and that mindset that we have, which is part of the vision of this show and in my intro. So it means a lot to me. And I think it was a great conversation. So thank you.
Thank you. I am listening to a book by Jon Acuff called Soundtracks that tracks really nicely with that right now.
Wonderful. Thank you for that shout out, Sandi. Great call to action. If you're listening to our show right now today and you are not at the highest level of affirmations, go get the book. Sandi, what was that again? It's called
Soundtracks by Jon Acuff, and Jon, and then AC, and I don't know the rest, how you spell the rest, but it's Jon.
We'll find it. Thank you, Sandi. To watch my video recording with Sandi or other industry leaders in the real estate space, go to bestinseattlerealestate.com, or you can catch my shows on YouTube. Tina Mitchell, your host and local mortgage expert. Until next time.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, is a licensed loan originator with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.